So let's learn how to play Daring Dustbunnies. The first thing we're going to talk about is the setup of the game. Now, you need to set up the board first. That's going to be the most important thing. You need this start space and you need this vacuum card. And in between, you're going to have a certain number of rooms per number of players. There are 5 double-sided room cards in the game. And what that means is that for a 2 or 3 player game, you'll have 2 rooms. A 4-player game, you'll have 3 rooms. And a 5-player game, you'll have 4 rooms. And that scales it up very nicely. So each of these different rooms has different words on it, and they'll come into play later when we start moving the pieces. You'll get a character, which will have a special ability on it, and they're all different. You'll get a second character, which you will turn face down to form the remainder of your character card, and you'll get 3 static to start the game. You'll also get a wire of shocking, and when the game begins, you'll get a fate card. So let's give myself a fate card now. You pop that on there, you take a quick look at it so you know what colour your fate is connected to this round. There are 3 rounds in the game. So this round, my fate is connected to the black piece, but nobody else knows that, and I want to keep it that way. These charm cards will come into play later. The cat and the dog refer to the certain cards in the game. And the gold, silver and bronze medals are what you win when you come first, second or third in the game. And by coming first, second or third, that means coming closest to the vacuum cleaner but not in the vacuum cleaner. And that's a crucial part of this game. So how do we move these fluff balls across the carpet towards the vacuum? Well, we'll need some movement cards. So we get 4 movement cards at the start of the game. These are going to be my 4. Let's have a look at them. So, most of the movement cards are going to be colours and numbers, 1, 2, 3 or 4 in each of the different colours. There's also a cat and a dog in the game. These will move any fluff ball in the room with the cat or the dog, either backwards for the dog or forwards for the cat. And you can move them up to 4 spaces. It's entirely free choice, which sounds great, except most of the time when you make those choices, you give your opponents massive clues as to what colour you might or might not be. And the 4th type of card in the game is the Talisman of Truth. Now you really don't want one of these. There's only 2 in the deck. If I ever play this card from my hand, I have to reveal my fate card and tell everybody what colour I am. So I really want to try and avoid doing that. One of the crucial parts of this game is that you don't draw back up to 4 cards at the end of your turn. You draw back up to 4 cards when you've played all the cards in your hand. So, if I were to play the yellow 2, I would move yellow 2. It's as simple as that. Then the word on the space that I land on, I must try and do. So if I land here, it would mean give a card to an opponent. Now naturally, I'm going to get rid of this because I really don't want it. So I would give that talisman to an opponent. As I say, when you land on a space with a word on it, you must do what it says. So this would be take a card for an opponent, give, as I've just done, play an extra card from your hand, throw a card away without doing it, flip the top card of the movement deck, and do what it says, whether you like it or not. And there is one other type of move on this. So let's move another fluff ball 1 space. So there's a lot of variety in this game because these rooms will change every round. So my turn would have ended now. If I'd wanted to, I could have played my wire of shocking to move somebody backwards. You can always play charms as a free action. But I'll explain those in a second. So that's the movement cards you need to move people forwards. You'll be moving all the different fluff balls, not necessarily your own, but you might static when you land on another fluff ball. So if I were to move blue 2, or my opponent were to, then instead of doing the word, because there's already somebody there, you would get static equal to the number of fluff balls already there. So this person would take 1 static. There's no static in the communal pool, so they would take 1 from me or from any opponent of their choice. Let's talk a little bit more about static and charms. So at the start of the game, you get the Wire of Shocking, which is a free charm that you have to get you going. It's great for getting out of trouble. The static you gain by landing on spaces with other fluff balls on them. So this one landing here would get me 2 static. And if you cluster people together, then you can get quite a lot. So that move would get 3 static. As you play your cards out and you empty your hand, so when you've played your last card, you get 4 new cards at that point. And you can take another charm. So every charm has got a cost on it, has got an effect, and some lovely artwork as well. So as you go through your hand of cards each time, and the quicker you can get through them, the faster you can get to play. So if I play pink moves 3, play another card. Pink moves 1, play another card. Brown moves 3, 1, 2, 3, dump that card from my hand. I got through all my cards in one go. I take 4 new cards at the end of my turn, and I get another charm. So, the faster you move through your cards, the more charms you pick up. The more you land on other players, the more static you gain, although they can steal it back from you. And then when you're ready, at any stage during your turn, as a free action, you can use any of your charms, or all of your charms if you can afford them. The special charm that you start the game with, the Wire of Shocking, the rule on this one is it costs all of your static, all the remaining static you have, and it moves a fluff ball back that far. And that's going to come in useful because all these cards move people forwards. And it's hard to move backwards when you really need to. So we know how to move our fluff balls forwards. We know what the charms do, and we know what the static does. And we also know that we're trying to protect our fate card from being revealed. So that's what we're managing as we're playing through the game. But now we need to know what's going on with this vacuum card and how the round ends. So the vacuum card has 2 spaces on it. One is the Tube of Destiny, and one is the Bag of Beyond. If your piece lands in the Tube of Destiny, then, or any piece lands in the Tube of Destiny, you have to check to see if the round can end. 3 things have to happen. 1, somebody needs to be in the vacuum space somewhere on the vacuum. Number 2, everybody else needs to have left the start space. And 3, every other piece that's on a carpet space needs to be on a unique carpet space. And right now, these aren't. These are sharing that space, so the round cannot end. Let's catapult black into a perilous position by putting, let's say, by the time it gets back to my round, there's black in the bag, in the Tube of Destiny. I've got lots of different charms, and I would be using my Wire of Shocking, which I lose. I would spend all of my static, and I would move black backwards. 1, 2, 3. So you can get out of the Tube of Destiny. But let's say my next card is a pink 1, or pink anything. You go straight, pink goes into the Bag of Beyond. You cannot get out of the Bag of Beyond. So as you move into the Tube of Destiny, you stop. So if this was a pink 3, pink would still only move 1 space to the Tube of Destiny. It's a long thing, the Tube of Destiny. It takes a long time to go down it. But if pink moves forwards in any way, it would land in the Bag of Beyond. So now let's just check. They're all on the vacuum, somebody's on the vacuum space, everybody's left the start space, but these 3 are still sharing a space. So let's now pretend that we've moved this one forwards and this one forwards, and then this would mean that the round would end. Somebody's in the vacuum, nobody's on the start, and everybody's on a unique space. Yellow would get gold, brown would get silver, and black would get bronze. Go me. Everybody reveals their fate card, everybody takes the relevant medal, and then you set up a new round. So setting up a new round is really easy. You put the fluff balls back on the start space. You pick up the rooms, put them to one side. You pick up the fake cards, put them back together. Keep your charms that you've earned. You may, if you want to spend all your static, you may switch to your other character. Or you can keep the one you've got. Then you'd randomly choose 2 new rooms. Like that. You can do them either way up. Either way up. Lots of modularity, lots of different rounds to play. And then you start the new round. So everybody, then you would take all the movement cards back, shuffle up the movement cards. 4 new cards to each player, and then, and a new fake card to each player. I'm green this time. Hopefully that's explained all you need to understand how to play Daring Dustbunnies. Thank you very much.